Sir, we are unable to hear you, sir.
Yeah, we'll start from the 35th stanza, 10th chapter. Om Sri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha Atha Dashamodhyayaha Brihat Sama Tatha Samnam Gayatri Chandasamaham
बृहत् साम तथा साम्नां गायत्री छन्दसामहम्
Masanam Margashirshyoham Ritunam Kusumakaraha
मासानां मार्गशीर्षोऽहं ऋतूनां कुसुमाकरः
Yutam Chalayatamasmi Tejasvinamaham
द्यूतं
द्यूतं
चलयता
चलयतामस्मि तेजस्विनामहम्
तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
Jayosmi Vyavasayosmi Sattvam Sattvavatamaham
जयोस्मि
जयोऽस्मि
व्यवसायोऽस्मि
व्यवसायोऽस्मि
सत्त्वं सत्त्ववतामहम्
Vrishninam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjayaha
वृष्णीनां वासुदेवोऽस्मि
वासुदेवोऽस्मि
पाण्डवानां धनञ्जयः
धनञ्जयः
Muninamapyaham Vyasaha Kavinam Ashuna Kavihi
मुनीनामप्यहं व्यासः
मुनीनामप्यहं
कवीनामुशना कविः
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 Dando Damayatamasmi Nitirasmi Jishishatam
दण्डो
दण्डो दमयतामस्मि
दमयतामस्मि
नीतिरस्मि जिगीषताम्
नीतिरस्मीतिगीषताम्
Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam Jnanam Jnanavatamaham
मौनं
मौनं
चैवास्मि
चैवास्मि
गुह्यानां ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहम्
ज्ञानवतामहम्
Echapi Sarvabhutanam Bijam Tadaham Arjuna
यच्चापि
यच्चापि
सर्वभूतानां बीजं
सर्वभूतानां
तदहमर्जुन
तदहमर्जुन
Na tadasti vinat yasyan maya bhutam characharam
न
न तदस्ति
तदस्ति विना
विना
यत्स्यान्मया भूतं
भूतं
चराचरम्
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 Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa
नान्तोऽस्ति मम
नास्ति मम
दिव्यानां
दिव्यानां
विभूतीनां परन्तप
e e esha tu deshatat prokta vibhuta vibhutir vistaro maya vibhutir
एष
vistaro
तु
maya
देशतः प्रोक्तो
प्रोक्तो
विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया
विभूतिर्विस्तरो
यद्यद् विभूतिमस्तत्त्वं श्रीमूर्तिर्दिशते मव
यद्यद्
यद्यद्विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं
विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं
श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा
विभूतिमेव वा
तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोशसम्भवम्
तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम
तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं
तेजोशम्भवम्
भवम्
अथ वा बहुनैतेन किं तवार्जुन
अथवा बहुनैतेन
बहुनैतेन
किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन
ज्ञातेन
विष्टभ्याहमिदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत्
विष्टभ्याहमिदं कृष्णं
याह्यमिदं कृष्णं
मेकांशेन स्थितो
एकांशेन
जगत्
जगत्
So we had covered till the 15th stanza where, what was the season, what was the month, all that Krishna was talking about in terms of his splendor, in terms of his vibhutis. So from the 36th verse, he's talk about some more, right? So the first thing he talks about is amongst the deceitful pursuits that man has, right? He is gambling. This is a shocker to all of us, right? The word gambling coming in Bhagavad Gita, but we have to understand this. So, if you look at the entire creation, right, it is said that this world that we live in is nothing other than Maya. It's an illusion. So in this Maya, there is a duality. There's both good and bad, right? So amongst the, what we consider as good and bad, right? So in that, if you see, what is this Maya part? It's illusion. So gambling is considered the strongest form of Maya. Why is it? It is an illusion, right? It's an illusion that if I do gambling, I will make money. Gambling here doesn't mean necessarily going to a Las Vegas casino and doing gambling, right? Even gambling, putting into stock markets, putting into whatever we may think, or somebody says, I'll give you, twice the amount of interest that somebody else is giving, etc. All that comes under gambling. So the lust, wanting something quickly, wanting something instantaneously, that creates what lot of, craving. That craving leads to attachment, and ultimately it leads to sorrow. That's the reason it's given it here. So this is like a warning. All of these, and we have to understand all of this is a learning, right? It is not to bring down, it is to also be, this is all us become aware. Now it is, this interestingly, this is all covered in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam in the first chapter, Canto 1, it is said that there are 10 places where Kali has to sit. Kali as in Kali, in this Kali Yuga, that word Kali. One of these 10 is gambling. So there is a reference to it here, there, where it is said that, what's his name? Parikshit, yeah, Parikshit Maharaja. Parikshit Maharaja, what? Parikshit, who's Parikshit? Parikshit is none other than Arjuna's grandson. He's Abhimanyu's son. Right? Parikshit Maharaja, right? And this is the start of Kali Yuga. He goes towards the river of, towards the shore of Saraswati River. He sees something horrible. All of this is in Bhagavatam. Huh? I'm not saying making up anything here. And he sees a man, chopping off the legs of a bull. He has chopped off 3 legs of a bull. The 4th leg is, and he's, this just does not seem at all right to him. So he goes closer. There, what he sees that what the bull is nothing other than Dharmadeva. And the man is none other than a Kali Purusha. Kali Purusha, what it, stands for somebody who is we can call it a Rakshasa, or maybe, it's got demonic qualities. Let's call it demonic qualities, right? Jealousy, all of those kind of things. So there's all this symbolism is there, right? So don't look at the story by itself as something, right? In everything, you have to understand what does it mean. So you've got 3 swords, 3 different swords for, 4 different swords for the 4 legs. So each leg, so first we said that the bull is none than Dharma Deva, right? Each of those legs are pillars. The first pillar is austerity. And how does he cut that? What kills austerity? Ego. When you have a lot of ego there, austerity goes for a toss. So that sword, right, is ego. The second one is Shaucham. Shaucham means what? Purity or cleanliness. We need that purity both outside and inside, right? So, for example, in our day-to-day life, this applies for us every day, not just for, every day. I have to be clean. I take a shower every day. But it's not only outside, but it's also inside that I have to be pure. Shaucham. So when the Shaucham goes for a toss, right? Shaucham goes for a toss when there is lust. When there is lust, it goes for it. That is the second sport. The third, what you call pillar, I think I could have called this, even though it's a leg, we have to call this as a pillar. A pillar on which a life, good life depends are these four. First one, as you said, is austerity. Second one is purity. Third, so what is austerity? You all know, right? Daily doing some anushasana, doing some prayer, doing some sadhanas, upasanas, all of those come underneath that. The third one is compassion. So when does compassion go for a toss? When I am deluded, when I am confused. Forget compassion, right? I'm so confused. I don't even know what to do. I can't take even the right thought, no thought process comes in, no compassion. So the third sport is confusion or delusion. The fourth pillar is truthfulness. You all know, right? That is the most important aspect. So when does truthfulness goes for a thought? If my mind is full of falsehood, mind doesn't even think what is right, what is wrong. Falsehood is there. So these four pillars. So it is said that when Parikshit Raja goes near him, that person realizes, he surrenders, and whenever somebody surrenders, that person normally would kill that person, but Parikshit doesn't kill him and he's forgiven, etc., etc. That is the other part. Now, coming to, we said Kali Purusha stays in, for 10 places he has to reside. The first one is gambling. The second one is in drunkards, wherever drunkards go to. The third place is bad conduct, womenism. Fourth place is people who harm others, mentally, physically, whatever you can call it. Fifth verse is, money, greediness, wanting more. Sixth is people who tell lies. Seventh is arrogance. Eighth is lust. Ninth is anger. And 10th is somebody being hostile. So all of these qualities, if you see, are not a normal person. Yeah, it's not that anger doesn't come in certain people. We are talking about, something that lasts for a long time, is sustained, then it becomes a demonic quality. So here, in Bhagavatam, it said these are qualities that one should have minimal of, if not none. And among some, gambling is one of the first. So, because it just can ruin you. There are people who have, lost everything, because there is no hope, right? It just, there's something that
Sir,
somebody said
last
something.
two, can you repeat, sir?
What last two? What?
Last, Kalipurusha,
I
where
said
he.
after lust is anger and hostility. After, huh? So that's what he's giving that gambling as something that I am. So here we have to understand is the reason therefore he says that this is one way to understand that Ishvara, when even a person who gambler, he blesses that person. He's in both the good and the bad. This has come up even earlier. Right. It's not like what is the goody thing. Goody in the sense that it's not that he's saying I make a somebody bad. It's your choice. But if somebody wants to commit a crime, somebody wants to show his lust or show his anger or show his hostility towards others, that is also part of Ishvara Shakti. Now, this is the first part of this verse. But on the other hand, somebody who has got a strong intellect, discriminative power, what is it that makes a brilliance in that person shine? It is none other than this. So those who are getting Nobel Peace Prize, people who are doing inventions, so people who do a lot of innovation in current AI world, this person, that person did, etc., etc. That is also, you see the contrast here, right? Gambling who doesn't have a discriminative power. On the other hand, somebody who's got a lot of discrimination. Then you have somebody, so strong intellect means what? Smart guy. Somebody may not be smart, but he's a hard-working person. He wants to achieve something. That is also, so the the victory that hardworking person achieves at the end of it, who enables it? Ishvara. So, three aspects that we talked about. The fourth one that this verse talks about is sattva. Sattva means what? High level of clarity of that particular person, not agitated, even if botherations come, he's able to come out of it soon. Who enables the sattva quality in somebody? Who is it that, who does that purification action because of karma, that somebody gets, is able to handle situations? How does that come? You can say I put the effort, but what is it that enables, makes it happen? Even the purity that we talk about, it is his Shakti. So even the goodness in an enemy, a person who transforms himself, like that person who surrendered to the sage Parikshit, right? To realize and then, come out of it, that is also, so therefore, and all of these things, right? So you see the contrasting things here. We then goes from gambling, which is one of the worst qualities, to the other extreme. Then the 37th verse. Amongst the Vrishis, he says, I am Vasudeva. So, Krishna is also referred to as Vashni, has got many names. So that Vashneya name comes under the clan of Rishi. Rishi is none other than, there was a whole Chandravamsha clan that was there, called Yadu clan. In that, it is a lunar, dynasty, as they call it. In that, he says, I am Vasudeva. I am that Ishvara that manifests itself as Vashneya. Then he talks about amongst the Pandavas, I'm Arjuna, greatest archer, etc. And then amongst the, the people who he also honors here, Vyasa, author of the Vedas, Puranas, right? And all of these are my manifestations. And then visionaries, Kavi, he takes the name Ushana. Ushana is none other than Shukracharya. Shukracharya is what? He's one of the foremost gurus, right? If you take Shukracharya, it comes in many, many places. One of the most gurus that is talked about, teachers in all of the scriptures that we see. He was actually, for all the asuras, whether he was a guru. Not from the standpoint that he taught them how to do badly. He was actually, not influenced by any of them, but he was a guru, right? Because even remember the asuras used to worship. Even the asuras had some qualities, right? Ravana, despite all the things that we say, by the way, he was Shiva Bhakta. So it is not like, they had only demonic qualities. They also had in them, but realize that there's a power that is needed even for me to portray my demonic qualities. So in that sense, Shukracharya was then. Now that's the reason what Shukravar comes, right? So all of these, if you see, there's a connection, right? So Shukravar, this thing, if you see all of these, we can resonate it with, right? With from Vyasa. Vyasa is so much talked about in so many scriptures. He's highlighted so much in even the Geeta Dhyanam that we chant, all of that. So that was the 37th stanza. Then comes the 38th stanza. This goes again. This is also going to talk a little bit about some of the other aspects, right? Dando damayata masmi. Danda means what? Punishment. I also personify. I also, express myself as punishment. For whom? Who is not able to restrain themselves? Somebody, a criminal who is not able to restrain himself, I give that punishment. Now, that punishment does not have to be a jail or somebody getting chopped off, etc. Not at all, right? A punishment can also be in the form of bad health, can be also in the form of long duration of ill health, or in the form of somebody losing all the money that they might have saved over a period of time. All of that is punishment. Punishment can come in many forms. It is why? Why is it all done? It is to awaken that person. It is not just, to just get, the message has to go somehow, right? How do I get a message? Sometimes the message can come very mildly, like in a child, mother first, tells the child, don't do this. The child keeps on repeating. What do you do? Little bit stronger words. After some time, maybe spanking. After some time, maybe they're staying with the person. Today, you're not going to come out of this room. Okay, you're going to be there for the next 1 hour. That's a punishment, right? So like that, Ishvara also goes through gradually. So, you would have heard in Chanakya Sutra, right? It is said that there is a Sama, Dama, Veda, Danda. Right? These used to be the 4 types of, conflict resolution between people or between armies or between kingdoms, right? What is it? So what is Sama? Sama is meaning, first you advise, you tell that person, just like a mother saying, please don't do this, right? This is not right for you. Then comes Dhamma, if you do this, I'll take you to a restaurant. Like that, offering incentives. This is again a tactic. See, all of these are tactics. You want the message to get across with person, persuade that person. So and this happens, right? What is happening today in all the war that we see, something is offered, you do this and I'll make sure you don't do this, etc. Right? Like the way US is doing to many countries. Then Veda. Veda is what? Is exploiting the secrets of the other person and showing the weakness of the other person and bring it out. And the other person doesn't want those secrets to be out, doesn't want those weaknesses to be revealed. So he'll say, okay, I understand, I will surrender, kind of a thing. If that also doesn't work, then you get to punishment, danda. What that punishment danda is, Ishvara decides. In the court of law, they sometimes decide based upon the country, etc., what the danda is. But here we are talking all from an Ishvara angle, that danda is decided by him. Whatever is appropriate for that person to experience so that he or she is able to understand and come out of it. So, dando dametamasmi, niti rasmi. Niti means strategy. See, we all understand, right? For in any corporate world, even in the war of Mahabharata, in any wars, there is a strategy, right? Even in the wars that we are seeing, even today's world, they try to adopt a certain strategy. A strategy of that, we'll do this first, we'll do that first, we'll approach that side, we'll approach on this side, use the air for this, water for this, army for this, etc. Right? All kinds of things are done. Similarly, it was done also in Mahabharata, when a strategy would be adopted by Krishna to tell Arjuna, this is what you should do, how to kill certain people, etc. The other side of the side. So all that comes under niti, and that comes everywhere as a strategy, right? We also use some strategy in even things that we do, right, in our, in some decision-making process. So that niti rasmi jigishatam maunam chaivasmi. That you understand, right? Chaiva asmi. That silence is considered golden. So where is it golden? When you should keep your mouth shut, typically, right? When you don't want to reveal anything, somebody just blasts at you in tight, in challenging situations. Sometimes it is best that you shut your mouth and do nothing, because accidentally you may say something that you should not be said, some secret, etc. So be in mauna. Mauna is golden, and mauna is golden even in normal worlds. Being silent, being with yourself. So you can say silence from what? Not having to utter a speech, even at the mental level, doing mauna. All of that is considered golden. And then, jnanam jnanavatamaham. Amongst the knowledge, I am that knowledge, ultimate knowledge I am, which we know fully, right? I am that supreme There's ultimate truth. There's nothing beyond that. And here, when we say knowledge, we have to understand this wisdom. It is not knowledge as in conceptual knowledge that I understand. So if you see Ravana, he had a lot of knowledge, but he lacked the wisdom. He had all the Vedic knowledge, right? He knew everything. All the, puja, part, etc. He knew how to do homas, everything he knew in and out completely. How much had it gone into him? How much was it really integrated as wisdom? So, in Bhagavad, talking about niti, right? There is in Vishnu Sahasranam it comes, right? Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Patho Dhanavdaraha Tatta Shri Vijayo Bhutar Dhruvanetir Matirmana Dhruvanetir Niti. Wherever there is Arjuna, wherever there is Krishna in any battle, there is always victory. So, because, in that context, Krishna gives the spiritual strength and all the outer disciplines, etc., of how to fight, archery, etc., that is governed by Arjuna. So moving on, 39th verse. So he's concluding here. Echapi. So he's talked about 72, in this chapter, 72 different manifestations of this. So, Echapi sarva bhutanam bijam tadaham Arjuna. He says here, I am the simple, to recognize me is to recognize these manifestations of mine. Sometimes you go through what is perceivable to the non-perceivable, right? To a subtle, sometimes, you can't just, establish yourself in this abstract level things. And that is the reason all these manifestations you've gone through. So he says, whether it is a moving or a non-moving, everything comes from one seed only. Whether it is moving or non-moving, everything has arisen out of that one seed, which is me. That is Ishvara. So Ishvara is the cause for everything, be it moving or non-moving. So it's the ultimate seed, if one can look at it. So we know seeds that manifests into a mango tree or guava tree, whatever it is. But this is the seed for the entire universe. So if I am not there, nothing exists. So how to understand this, right? We say, tree is beautiful, rose is fragrant. What is that is? Tree is beautiful. Rose is fragrant. Fruit is sweet. That isness that comes to each one of these three things is nothing other than him. You can ask it, you can say from another angle. You say, I am happy. I am beautiful. What is that am? I am. None other than him. That is what he's saying this verse. That's the Vinanas Etsyanmaya Bhutam Characharam. Be it anything, unmoving, non-moving, etc. I am the seed. I am the ultimate source. Going on. 40th verse. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam param tapa. So he says here, Arjuna, in one of the three verses that Arjuna had multiple questions, right? You tell me, at a ground level, what are the things you represent in this universe? So here he's telling Arjuna, see, there is no end to my vibhutis. I can keep on talking for the rest of my life. But I've just given you a sample. I've given just a small subset because it's so vast. it is, it's so vast that even the universe that you are in, even the galaxy that you're in is so limited. There's so many other galaxies that I'm also part of. There's so many other suns. There's so many other galaxies that where, people exist. Because, whether it's living, non-living, I'm everywhere. So there are countless universes, countless galaxies. I can't just describe all of them to you. So I've given you a small taste of this. Hmm. So therefore, remember me in all of this. So again, to stress this, through whatever is invisible, imperceptible, through what is visible or perceptible, visualize the imperceptible. Visualize what cannot be seen, what cannot be perceived directly by the mind. These I can visualize with the mind. These I can somehow relate to one way or the other. Right? When he said, I am the Ganges amongst the rivers, I am the Margashirsha amongst the months. Easy to relate for us. That's the reason, right? If you look at everything, right? Why do we, in some of the pujas that we do, for example, Ayuda Puja, what do? We worship the car. We put Chandan Kumkum in the car. We go to the scooter. We take a hammer. We take a screwdriver. We take a book. Everything we do offer that. It's symbolically done. It is to not just put there and that's the end of it, right? It is to see that even in the pen that is writing, it is me. Even in that car that is driving me every day, that's the reason things are worshipped, right? A car is worshipped in a temple before it is taken out. Because A, for its safety, also the thing that makes it work. Even if there is gas, everything works, still the car doesn't work. There has to be some ammunition. Even for that ammunition, there is a Ishvara Shakti that is required. So all of this is, that's what he's summarizing here, this 40th stanza. 41st word. Yajyat vibhuti matsatvam Shimurti jitameva va. Right. So therefore realize that, this, all the glories that realize that everything is my glories, at least think to some of them. So, when I have visible impressions, expression, then you go through certain experience of your own. Suddenly you get a award at office or somebody rewards you for whatever you have done. Remember, it is that invisible Ishvara that's at play in what you got. Right? So, it is my splendor that is making everything happen, even in the little things. So, let that little mind take a bit of rest. That little mind says, I did this, I got, this accolade here, etc., etc. With awareness, you realize that there is a bigger mind at play in all the things that you and I go through. So therefore, the vibhutis have to be looked at, one can look at it from an outside world, one can look at it even from our own inside world. Because we've given examples, right? The intelligence in the intelligent, the beauty in the beautiful, so things like that, right? So we just have to sort of relate to each and every one of our life. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. You see that word here, right? Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Nantosti, see, Tosti Kachit. Yeah. Sarva Yajyadi Bhutanam Timevicha Tadadeva Makachintam Namatejo Sambhavam. Yeah. So all of these things, right? That the thing that what should trigger, we'll talk a little bit about this in a little bit. Just see my expressions, at least relay rarely to few of them. It's not by all the 70, it doesn't require it. I gave that sample only to demonstrate that I'm in so many other things. It's not that we have to mug up or remember any of those 72. Even if we relate to 2 or 3 of them and are able to relate to it and connect with him, therefore, that's all that is needed. So, 42nd verse. Atva bahunaitena kim jnanena tavarjuna. So I've told you everything that you need to know about my vibhutis. I'm in all of this. Mm. So in all of this, what he's saying that I'm that oneness factor that's there in everyone, right? So even we look at our own career, we look at where we are today in terms of both materialistic pursuits, spiritual pursuits, relationships, everything. Can we just, relate to? And the way to do it is show sense of gratitude. When we show sense of gratitude, what does that say? It's because of you that all of these things have happened. So, if the way, you look at a gross level thing, right? Let's say you go to a pottery shop, right? A pottery shop, guy is taking clay and making different pots, etc. Or you go to a jewelry shop, he's melted the gold and he's making different jewels. He doesn't look at the pots as pots. He looks at the pots as clay. A jewelry person he will look at only the gold, yeah, not in the form. He doesn't, but what comes out for us is we see the shine coming out of the gold. We see the, beautiful colors and shape of the pot, etc. We get caught on that other side. Here he's reminding us, look at what is inside that made that happen, right? And see therefore the infinite in the finite. So we'll read the concluding thing, then we'll discuss. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamodhyayah. So we'll just do a quick catch up from everybody, and then this time we'll just decide how we want to go through this edition. I have some thoughts. Yeah. Today's thing first. Let's hear from people. Yes, so then I don't know why a couple of others didn't join today. Anyways, anything from me, Jayasudha?
Sir, you were mentioning that in I am beautiful, that am is he, tree is beautiful, is he. So, how to understand this better, sir? Tree as a thing is a tree, and beautifulness is a beautiful, whatever, noun or adjective or something. That is
Yeah,
that connection you mean, or what is that, sir?
yeah, it is. I don't know. It's very hard to explain this in words. It's something just to be what you call. So it's just what is represents existence, right? He is alive.
Mm,
He
mm,
is. Is that
mm.
existence or a quality of that existence? Isn't that true?
Right. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
he's saying is that existence and the quality of all of those existences, whether it is fragrance, whether it is beauty, everything is him. That's it. Understand? Don't look at adjective, a word, no noun, etc. Just look at just the thing. When I say he is, that what is it that make what is essentially is expressing something, and after that is something is coming, right? That aspect you just see what is that root cause of that is that nothing other than big I. Same thing. I am. That I, even if you take the word I out of the picture for now, that has to be the big I. Am. What I am. What is that? Ponder. It's not something you just have to sort of look at when I am saying, I am this, I am that, etc. What is that I am part of it, right? Who's making that I am thing happen? Even if you relate it to that, then you'll realize, right? Today I'm happy. What is it that made me happy today? Right? I am rewarded today. What is it that made me get the reward today?
Mm.
Think on those lines. You'll get the answer.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? to the extent that I couldn't tell you. Okay. Kubeshwaran, anything from your side?
Sir, I have a couple of things. Now, throughout the chapter that he has been detailing about the vibhutis and his vibhutis and whatever that he picks, and then Krishna says he is the best in that, and then there is one this wild question in within Pandavas. He says, "I am you." Is it Arjuna that he is the best of it, or is Dharma or Yudhishthira the best of it? Which is another question. But in the main form of the question is like, okay, everything is there, and there are multiple, there are many munis. He is Vedavyasa. Like there are many munis. But what about them? And what is there for them?
Yeah.
And what is Krishna for them? So that is the other
Yeah,
question.
yeah. So it is like this, right? You go to a buffet, Kubeshwaran, right? You go to the buffet, there are about 50 items, right? You say among these buffet items, this is one of my favorites. True or not? Is it that you don't take anything else? You say, I like malai kofta, right? I'm just taking an example. But you still take the rice, you still take chapati, you still take some other sabjis, etc., right? So here, we should not take this as there is a favoritism here. In fact, one of the early verses says, I'm not at all, for me, everybody is equal. Remember, one of the earlier chapters, one of the verses that came, right? To me, everybody is equal. But, sometimes you have to, even as a teacher in a class says, amongst all the students, I like this. Does the teacher not like the other children? No, right? It is just that he's highlighting certain aspects of that person, that child, that is special. Similarly, here he's highlighting that Arjuna is a great archer and he is a recipient of the knowledge I'm giving him. So I consider him special. Vyasa, for whatever is offered to this human being in terms of making the four Vedas clearly happen, the Puran goes for the Puranas. It is not that the other rishis are not there. In fact, if you remember, he also praised Vishwamitra, right? When he said, I am Gayatri Mantra. Remember, he said Gayatri Mantra is nothing other than me. Amongst the mantras, Gayatri Mantra. Why did he say that? Vishwamitra, right? Vishwamitra was the one who downloaded Gayatri Mantra and brought it to us, right? So, like that, we have to just relate to, therefore, just the way, there are 5 children in a family. A mother and father would say amongst them, for them, we're all equal, but still, I like this particular child or son or daughter of mine for this reason. So, don't we do that in our family? Right? So, that's the way to look at it. So, therefore, for Ishwara, it's all one and the same. And the way to relate it to is that, he's saying that I make a criminal do what he does. I make a, saint do what he does. I make a sattvic person grow as a sattvic person. I'm doing everything. Without me, none of that would happen. At least that's the way I look at it. I know these things, good questions will come up. Yeah.
Okay.
Your answer, Haley.
I always go through with so many illusions, and mostly I face lot of the circumstances comes to me to relate every class of mine. I always tell this to you. Actually, day before yesterday evening, somebody had asked me a comment. Somebody has sent a question to me. Why is Lord Krishna has everything? And he told Bhagavad Gita, what not, he is everything and he is everywhere. Why he portrayed Radha, why Radha's character wanted to be there, why Rukmini, why Satyabhama? Yes, I agree, there is a purpose or whatever. But ultimately, what is that he wants to prove by doing all those things? You also need to have multiple wives or whatever. And he asked me, actually, he's my cousin. He's a little 1.5 year older to me. He asked me, what about you? I said, I'm also thinking, give me 1 or 2 days time, let me tell you. Then I thought a lot. Actually, one of my aunt's daughter, her name is Vani. She is like Radha to me. She wanted to marry me so desperately. She came to my house with a bag with gold and etc. because her father did not agree. That her father is also my granny's own brother's son only. But we were poor that time. He was a Hyderabad municipal commissioner of Hyderabad. He was then, so he did not want either. You know how it goes, no? But even
Yeah.
she married now. She has got 2 children. She stays in this one US. But just like Radha, I can say. They said, who is Rukmini? I said, Veena is Rukmini. What about Satyabhama? Must be there. I'm searching for Satyabhama. I don't. So like that, we can relate our life to Bhagavad Gita or any of the instances which I've gone through. But ultimately, sir, see, now I'm going through a different phase because of my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, their age and how their the struggle, etc. See, it's a kind of practical as well as theory learning for me in many occasions, that whatever the illusion you spoke in this 10th chapter and even in 9th chapter, it's a continued version according to me. All these things, he is everywhere. As long as whether you accept it or not, this is only is going to happen. So we don't have choices. According to me, we don't have choice. We feel and we think that, yes, I can do this, I can do that and all. But absolutely it is not. For my father-in-law, for example, to tell, every best of the best doctors we have consulted. And Veena was telling, what is the use of you doing all these things? Why are you putting so much energy? You will, instead of that, you be with him. He'll be happy. Finally, I'm doing that and he is happy. I approached all the doctors across the globe, but that is of no use. So that's how it is, sir. So ultimately, we have to accept whatever is happening. I think everybody will get this. That is the essence of this 10th chapter also. He is
Yeah. Everybody. Yeah.
choiceless. We are ultimately. Fantastic journey to be experienced. That's all. Experiments and I don't think that I is nowhere. Only he. But this is also, see that my cousin asked about Radha, Rukmini and Satyabhama. See, maybe, these kind of characters, why he showed us? He made me to think a lot.
Right, in today's, Guruji shared this in one of the things that, Iraq, when a lot of people got killed, men got killed. And this is going back when Krishna was there, that, there were so many wives, who were not married, right? It was the widows. So it is said that Krishna, so Krishna, we're going back to Iraq days, what is today's Iraq? He was there also. So he said, I will marry you. So, if you look at Google, you'll say Krishna had 16,000 wives.
Yeah.
It's a symbolic representation. It is just one that I support you. I will take care of you. That's all there is to it. It is not that physically any marriage happened, any of that sort. So I think sometimes we get carried away by Rukmini or Satyabhama or Radha, just pure love, nothing other than pure love, right? Nothing physical, nothing otherwise. It's one of his leelas, right? So the Rasa Leela, all of those things, everything, right? It's not that there is any lust in all of them. It is just pure love, pure man. That's it. So sometimes you literally read it and then you say, okay, why he had so many this etc. Krishna is no good, etc. He had polygamy. None of that sorts. It's not at all true.
And even Meera and Andal to the league, and they are actually they have lived along with us actually.
Yeah. See, sometimes there are stories. We have to understand the stories. We get carried away by the stories. I also, always a question. I don't get to the story at all. I understand what is the symbolism behind this. It's just like that, Parikshit, the story that we just saw, right? Across it seems once you understand the symbolism, then you appreciate what is the significance of all of this, right? As to whether that really happened or not, nothing. But for us, the importance is not get carried by somebody chopping legs, bad person, blah, blah, blah. What does it represent? What do those 4 pillars for life represent? Bhavani, Geeta Solnama.
Jai Gurudev. First is miracle is that my physiotherapist phoned that she wants another timing. So that means I'm destined to share with you. Give me 2 minutes. From where you were reading, as you were reading, the thing came to me about disease I was reminded of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Ramana Maharshi who had cancer, and how they said, when they said, no, why don't you heal yourself? So many people you have healed. So he says, they are totally disconnected from the body. He says, pata nahi kitne karam bhi kiya hoga. So at such a great person like that, noble souls, also let the body go through its experience. And they were looking at it totally disconnected, totally disconnected. And another thing I want to tell you about diseases,
On that
my experience of diseases, immediately at a level, till certain level, you find it's a punishment or Q as a miracle and all that you last. But at a certain level, you understand that disease makes you stronger. It ennobles you, saying that you don't have all the power. You have nothing in you, and it takes you to a higher level of stage of evolution. So I'm not saying I would invite disease, aja, bel mujhe maar. So it is just that it ennobles you. And regarding the East thing that it came about I in this and all, the thing that came to me while Ramesh was reading is that I was thinking of the East consciousness in the tree, in the butterfly, in these birds and all, who don't even realize it, but it's in them. But a man is a very complicated person with his intellect, can use the best of it. So to make him understand, he takes the highest quality of any quality man may be proud of, egoistic about, and he says it's an I in this to take us, maybe make a shift from the doership to the East consciousness. That's how I felt at that time. The East consciousness is I am. When you go into a samadhi, the I capital comes from there. You know the presence, Guruji says, na? You feel the presence. How do you say? You feel you are there, but that is a different I from this I. That is what came to my mind.
So this time what I thought, this Vibhuti thing, right? Rather than just going through this Vibhuti, that Vibhuti, we can do that, not a problem. But I just thought slightly differently this time. When we meet next week, I think we'll all come a little bit prepared. We'll ask some, questions that are there as part of this Jnana Yoga part, which has been covered a little bit in 7th chapter, a bit of 8th, 9th, and then this 10th one. And then, more of a discussion, right? It is not anything other than that. But I just thought it may be a bit open-ended, but it'll also have a little whatever direction to it. So that's what we will do next week. We will chant the entire 10th verse once, separately each one of us will do. But then rather than us going through different verses, because it's not as important to know, what do we represent amongst rivers, etc. That is all good to know, right? It comes under knowledge. I think we have to go a little bit deeper to understand why is he doing all of this, right? Maybe if we all introspect a little bit and then discuss it, I think it'll be better is what I thought. So we'll table that for next Saturday. Is that okay with everyone? Is that all right?
The 10th chapter?
Yes, sir, I'm okay.
Yeah, 10th chapter. Yeah, we are talking only 10, but 10th is, there's nothing, no chapter in isolation here in Bhagavad Gita. There's a lot of connection. So a lot of things that are covered, some pieces are there in 10, some interrelated pieces are there in the earlier chapters. So we'll, probably look at all of them. Ultimately, the Vedantic knowledge is emanating from these Jnana Yoga part is what we will talk through. We'll do that next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Thank you for all your blessings.